Hello and welcome back. First, to my musical language. Here in Australia, measures are called bars. So I will say for measure 3, bar 3. Also, here we call the frog nut. It means the same, nut or frog. But for Australians and British residents, I will call semi-breves a full note with 4 beats, minims a half note, and crotchets a quarter note, 1 beat, quavers an eighth note, 2 in 1 beat. And I will do that because it translates into all languages, whereas semi-breves, minims, crotchets and quavers are such individual names they don't translate. Today I will introduce the 4th position. This will open up a completely new era of cello playing. Once we can play positions 1 to 4 plus the harmonics, which are included in this chapter as well, we can play a large part of the cello repertoire. In fact, most of the Baroque music is written for cello. Like, for example, in the Bach solo suites, number 1, 2 and 3, there's only 1 movement out of 21, which requires a higher position than 4. And in the Vivaldi sonatas, it looks similar, although playing the vast repertoire may require a really good knowledge and versatility of these positions. Well, the good story is, surprisingly, the 4th position is the easiest of all. Just have a look. While I'm sitting here and talking, I have my hand comfortably resting on the cello. The thumb is here in the curb, and now I sit a bit straighter and play the handiest note with the first finger. Or just a tiny bit sharp. And this is for this cello. I have another cello where it's even sharper, but here is a little bit back. An A on the D string compared to the A string, and yet it's in tune, so easy. That's the 4th position. So take my hand away, I talk, and it's in tune. To add to the ease, the fingers are a bit closer than 1st position, so we don't need to stretch like we're used here in 1st position and think, oh, that will be difficult. It is easy. In Germany, there was a cello method which introduced the 4th position really early, after starting to play. Surprisingly, it worked and was not hard at all. The downside was, though, that these students never learned positions 2 and 3 properly. And this is added to my observation that many non-professional cellists prefer anyway position 1, which is the first they learn, and 4, which is comfortable, and they avoid position 2 and 3. Like when they play the Nutcracker theme on the A string, they would play. Yes, when you can play the 3rd position, you play. If you love stress, discomfort and insecurity, go for it. But if you like, even a bit, good intonation, security, comfort, and more focus on sound, and like ease, play 3rd position. Anyway, they learned relatively unprepared position 4 with no difficulty, and I'm sure you will find it easy too. I start with a scale in G major. You will notice the scale in G major starts like the scale in C major. Just exactly the same, just 1 string higher. And that's because every major scale starting with an open string has to have the same pattern, until we run out of strings and need to go up. The same happens actually with all scales starting with the 1st finger. The first 2 strings are the same. And in fact the scale patterns are on pages number 99, and it's all about these few patterns scales rely on. So we start like the C scale with two strings of 0134, 0134, like I just played in fast. The same as, and then this is like on A string, like on C major, but one string up. But now we run out, we have not another string. So we need to go up to the fourth position, comfortable, and that's it. If the 4 is absolutely correct in tune, you can hear the G string slightly ringing, like agreeing that you are in tune. Just wait after the high G, be quiet, and listen out for the G ringing. If you can't hear it, like, it's dead. Or, but here you can hear it ringing. Then try to find the G until you get the approval of the G string. In fact, the cello responds to being in tune, and the harmonics of all strings and the open strings join in whenever they can. That's one of the joys of playing in tune. The whole cello sings with you. And as mentioned, the fourth position is located when the thumb sits comfortably in the curb and the one is opposite. But before I start, it's now time to start learning vibrato. I recommend to watch my specific video on how to do and learn vibrato. Then I don't need to go over all the details. The link is in the text below, the list of content of this video. Just very short, I recommend to play a slow scale with 3 beats and play the first beat without the vibrato. Then trying on beat 2, a 1 or 2 times bobble, and then let it drift off to the third beat, so no tension should interfere. I just show it. And the vibrato is not initiated by the fingers, that you do there something. It is, as I explained it, shaking like a baby bottle or like anything in your hand. It goes from the elbow and the hand, the fingers and the wrist do virtually nothing. So let's do it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and so on. I should mention, when you use vibrato, you can't use all 4 fingers, leave them down, because it keeps the hand stiff. So we need to leave this one finger on which we play, and the others are just hovering. And otherwise, it just doesn't work. So I play the scale all the way through. I forgot one thing to mention, and it is, because you play only with one finger, not with all, the thumb can move to the most comfortable position. That means when I play a 1, I play the thumb virtually opposite. When I play the 3, it's about under the 2, play the 4, I move closer to the 4. But I know people who shake it more or less like a swing and have the thumb further away. Just find out what's most comfortable for you and you can reset the thumb. After we did this scale in 3 beats, I recommend from now on to do a scale where the key note, like here the G, is longer, and then all the rest of the scale is in one bow until to the next key note, like G, G, G. And now to the accompaniment, pitched. It goes a bit through the positions, teaching how chords sound on the cello, as if it would be a guitar. It might be a bit hard on the hand, but if you have played a bit of guitar and bar chords, it will feel familiar. And it might take otherwise a little bit of time. But anyway, here it is. I like actually the accompaniment more than the scale, and together it sounds really nice. And now to the study in G major, number 91. As stated above, every single bar starts down bow, and if not, correct at every first beat of a bar or at the beginning of the line. The note names of bar 1 and bar 2 are the same. So listen that the notes will be the same, just 1 octave higher. Like and once you arrived at the highest note, the way back is the same as up. And the same is in line 2. And the positions are indicated underneath. I forgot at the very beginning. Don't lift the hand now. Don't lift it, but leave it down. Take the thumb either light or take it off to go down, but don't lift the hand off. In line 3, just be careful in bar 3 not to go to the open A string, but instead to the note A on D string with the first finger on D. So it goes already with the first finger on A into 4th position. And listen out that on the way down, at the shift from 1 to 3, both notes with 1 and 3 are exactly the same, and so the same in the next bar, at the shift from 1 to 4. I just play these 2 bars. So we come from, in the line 3, needs to be the same note with 1 and then 3. Now with 4. Listen to that they're exactly the same. And I recommend not to look, because it's about the sound. And in line 4, bar 2, remember to extend for the F sharp. Extension. Then from here on, make sure to use always the whole bow for every slur, particularly for the down bow, or you might run out on the up bow. In line 5, the shifts occur within a slur. If the shift is slow, it sounds better and played really likable. The shift down from 1 to 4 makes sure that the 1 stays on the string, then it has not to leave the string but glides. Shifts, as it says, not lifts. Otherwise, the open string will interrupt. And I play now in line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 2 bars, where actually I play the whole line and listen to that the shifts sound nice. So they were all without a rush, and you can even hear that there is a shift, and it sounds beautiful. And I think it's one of the reasons that the string instruments like the cellos and violins don't have frets, because shifts are beautiful. And now, to the last line, there's only one note which causes sometimes trouble, which is the second last note, and is a note. It goes to a third finger and it's exactly 4th position. I play it one time more. And once you know how it sounds, you can play it. And here is a whole study. And I count 4 beats in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now to the accompaniment. It's much easier. It's just a support for the melody. Just watch the second position in line 4 and 5, like a second position. And another second position. And just the very last note. It looks like a mistake, but it's not. There are 2 notes together. So in 4th position, the 3rd finger and a 10th. Musically, it's a 3rd plus an octave. It sounds very beautiful. And here the accompaniment, and I count 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And don't miss to watch this study and the scale as a duo. And unless you want to watch this video again, see you again for next lesson. And goodbye for now.